Forgiveness is not something you do for someone else. It is something you do for yourself. When you hold on to anger, resentment, or the memory of a wrong done to you, you are the one who suffers. The person who hurt you may have moved on, may not even remember the incident, may be living their life completely unaware of the pain you carry. But you carry it in your shoulders, in your jaw, in the tightness of your chest. You carry it in sleepless nights and in the moments when joy tries to enter but cannot find space because the old hurt is taking up all the room. What you forgive stops hurting you. This is not a philosophical idea. This is a practical truth that lives in your cells, in your nervous system, in the very way you move through the world. Right now, as you hear these words, notice what is happening in your body. Are your shoulders raised? Is there tension in your throat? Is your jaw clenched? These are not random sensations. They are messages. Your body is holding the story of everything you have not yet released. And it is exhausting. It takes enormous energy to maintain unforgiveness. Every time you replay the scene, every time you tell yourself the story of what they did, every time you rehearse what you should have said or how wrong they were, you are spending life force. You are using the precious energy that could be creating your future, healing your body, attracting love, manifesting abundance, and instead you are pouring it into the past. A past that cannot be changed, a past that is only alive because you keep resurrecting it. Let me be clear about what forgiveness is and what it is not. Forgiveness does not mean what happened was okay. It does not mean you have to pretend you were not hurt. It does not mean you must trust that person again or invite them back into your life. It does not mean you condone their behavior or become a doormat. Forge. Forgiveness is not about them at all. Forgiveness is the decision you make to stop punishing yourself for what someone else did. It is the moment you realize that holding on to this pain is hurting you far more than it is hurting them. It is the conscious choice to unlock the door of your own prison cell and walk out into the sunlight. You have been both the prisoner and the jailer, and forgiveness is the key you have held in your hand all along. Your body is remarkable in its honesty. While your mind can rationalize, avoid, and pretend, your body always tells the truth. When you say you have moved on from something but your stomach tightens every time you think about it, your body is speaking. When you insist you are fine but your back aches or your head throbs or you cannot sleep, your body is holding the story you will not consciously acknowledge. Science has shown us that chronic anger and resentment create inflammation in the body, suppress the immune system, increase blood pressure, and contribute to heart disease. But long before science measured this, the body knew. The body has always known. That pain in your lower back may be connected to feeling unsupported. That tightness in your throat may be all the words you never said. Those headaches may be the pressure of trying to control what cannot be controlled. Your body is not betraying you. It is trying to get your attention. It is saying, please let this go. Please choose yourself. Please stop carrying what was never yours to carry. Take a breath, a real one. Let it fill your belly, expand your ribs, soften your shoulders as you exhale. Notice how even this simple act begins to create space. Space is what we need. Space between the trigger and the reaction. Space between the memory and the meaning we assign to it. Space between who we were when it happened and who we are now. Without space, we collapse into the old pattern. We become the hurt again. We relive it as if it is happening in this moment. But it is not happening now. It happened then. And you are here. You are breathing. You are alive. You have survived. And now you have the opportunity to do more than survive. You have the opportunity to thrive. But you cannot thrive while dragging the weight of unforgiveness behind you. We tell ourselves stories, and these stories become our reality. The story of betrayal, the story of abandonment, the story of how we were wronged, overlooked, dismissed, or harmed. And here is the thing about stories. The more we tell them, the more real they become. Each time you replay the scene in your mind, you strengthen the neural pathway. You train your brain to see the world through the lens of that hurt. You become hypervigilant, waiting for it to happen again. You see evidence everywhere that people cannot be trusted, that you are not safe, that you will always be hurt. And so you create more of what you expect, not because the universe is punishing you, but because your attention is focused on the wound. Where attention goes, energy flows. What you focus on expands. If you focus on the hurt, you will find more hurt. If you focus on the healing, you will find more healing. This is not about denying reality. This is about choosing which reality you will feed. The story also keeps you in a particular role, the victim, the one who was wronged. And while it is true that you were hurt, while it is valid that a thing painful happened, staying in the role of victim keeps you powerless. It keeps you waiting for the other person to apologize, to change, to see the error of their ways. It keeps you dependent on something outside yourself for your peace. Forgiveness is the reclaiming of your power. It is the recognition that you do not need their apology to heal. You do not need them to understand what they did. You do not need them to change. You can choose to release this, to stop letting it define you, to step into a new story, a story where you are not the victim but the hero, the one who chose love, the one who chose freedom, the one who chose yourself. Before you can forgive anyone else, you must forgive yourself. This is the piece that is so often overlooked. You must forgive yourself for staying too long, for not seeing the signs, for trusting when you should not have, for being naive or hopeful or human. You must forgive yourself for the ways you reacted, for the words you said in anger, for the times you were not your best self, for the ways you abandoned yourself in order to please them. You must forgive yourself for holding on to this pain for so long, for letting it take up residence in your heart, for allowing it to color your days and your relationships and your sense of what is possible. This self-forgiveness is essential. Without it, you will continue to punish yourself. You will continue to believe that you deserved what happened or that you are not worthy of something better. And that belief will keep you locked in patterns of pain. Look in the mirror. Look into your own eyes. This may feel uncomfortable at first. We are not taught to truly see ourselves, but try. Look into your own eyes and say, I forgive you. I forgive you for being human. I forgive you for not knowing what you did not know. I forgive you for the mistakes and the missteps and the moments you wish you could take back. I forgive you for carrying this burden for so long. I forgive you and I release you. Say it until something softens. Say it until you feel the truth of it begin to move through your body. Say it even if you do not believe it yet. The belief will follow the practice. You are teaching yourself a new way, a way of compassion, a way of gentleness, a way of coming home to yourself. Forgiveness is not a single moment. It is not a grand gesture or a one-time decision after which everything is instantly healed. Forgiveness is a practice. It is a choice you make again and again, sometimes moment by moment. You may forgive today and wake up tomorrow with the anger returned. This does not mean you have failed. This means you are human. This means the hurt went deep and the healing takes time. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle. Each time the old story arises, each time the bitterness or resentment surfaces, you have another opportunity. You can notice it without judgment. You can say, there is that old pattern again. And then you can choose differently. You can breathe. You can place your hand on your heart. You can say a quiet prayer or affirmation. I release this. I choose peace. I am willing to see this differently. Over time, the waves of pain will come less frequently. They will be less intense. And one day you will realize that the thing that once consumed you barely touches you at all. Begin simply. You do not have to forgive everything all at once. You do not have to feel overwhelming love for the person who hurt you. Start where you are. Start with the willingness to be willing. I am willing to consider forgiveness. I am willing to explore what it might feel like to let this go. Even that tiny opening is enough. The universe responds to willingness. It responds to the genuine desire to heal. Once you signal that desire, support begins to arrive. A book, a conversation, a moment of clarity, a softening you did not expect. Trust the process. Trust that you do not have to force anything. Healing has its own intelligence. Your job is simply to stop blocking it, to stop insisting on the pain, to stop replaying the story, to create a little space and see what wants to emerge. You can write about it. Take a journal and allow yourself to pour out everything you feel without censoring, the rage, the sadness, the betrayal, the confusion. Write it all, and then, when you are ready, write a letter of forgiveness. You do not have to send it. This is for you. Write to the person who hurt you and tell them you are choosing to release them. Tell them you are taking back your power. Tell them you are no longer available to carry this pain, and then write a letter to yourself. Thank yourself for your resilience. Thank yourself for surviving. Thank yourself for being willing to heal. Acknowledge how hard this has been and how brave you are for doing this work. These letters are powerful. They externalize what has been internal. They create a tangible shift. And when you are done, you can burn them, bury them, or tear them into pieces and release them to the wind. A ritual of letting go. You can work with your breath. Breath is the bridge between body and mind, between conscious and unconscious. Sit quietly and bring to mind the person or situation you are forgiving. Notice what happens in your body. Where do you feel tension or contraction? Breathe into that place. Imagine your breath is bringing warmth, light, space. On the exhale, imagine you are releasing the old energy, releasing the story, releasing the need to be right or to have them understand. Do this for several minutes. Some days it will feel easy, some days it will feel impossible. Do it anyway. Consistency is more important than perfection. You are retraining your nervous system. You are showing your body that it is safe to let go. You can speak affirmations not as magical incantations, but as new thoughts you are choosing to plant in the soil of your consciousness. I release the past and embrace the present. I forgive myself and others. I am free. My heart is open. I choose peace. I deserve to feel good. I am safe in this moment. Say them while you walk, while you prepare food, while you look in the mirror. Let them become the soundtrack of your inner world instead of the old grievances. You are replacing one program with another. The old program says, I was wronged and I cannot move on. The new program says, I was hurt and I am healing. Both can be true, but only one leads to freedom. When you begin to forgive, when you begin to release the grip of old pain, something shifts in your energy field. Other people feel it. Opportunities appear. Doors open. The universe is no longer meeting a closed, defended, resentful energy. It is meeting an open, willing, receptive energy, and life responds. You may notice that relationships improve, that your health gets better, that you sleep more soundly, that you feel lighter, more hopeful, more curious about what is possible. This is not coincidence. This is cause and effect. You have stopped spending your energy on maintaining the pain, and now that energy is available for creation, for joy, for love, for the things you actually want. Forgiveness also changes what you attract. When you are vibrating at the frequency of resentment, you attract more situations that validate that frequency, more betrayal, more disappointment, more proof that people cannot be trusted. But when you shift into forgiveness, into compassion, into release, you begin to attract matching energies, people who are kind, circumstances that support you, synchronicities that feel like grace. You are no longer a vibrational match for the old pain, and so it stops finding you. This does not mean you will never be hurt again. You are human, and life includes pain, but you will no longer be defined by it. You will know how to move through it with more ease, more speed, more trust in your own resilience. Your physical body will respond. That chronic pain may ease, that stiffness may soften, that digestive issue may resolve. The body does not hold on to what the mind has released. Once you forgive, once you truly let it go, the body has permission to heal. It no longer needs to hold the story in tension and inflammation and pain. It can return to its natural state of balance and vitality. Listen to your body. Thank it for carrying you. Thank it for holding what you were not ready to feel. And now give it permission to let go. Place your hands on your heart and say, thank you for protecting me. I am safe now. You can relax. We are healing. We are free. Forgiveness is not a one-time event that you complete and then move on from forever. It is a devotion, a daily practice, a way of being in the world, because life will continue to bring you opportunities to choose forgiveness, small ones and large ones. The driver who cuts you off, the friend who forgets your birthday, the partner who says something thoughtless, the parent who cannot give you what you need, the child who rebels, the coworker who takes credit. Each of these is an invitation to return to the old pattern of resentment or to choose a new way, to choose freedom, to choose love, to choose yourself. Some days the choice will be easy, some days it will feel impossible. On the hard days, be gentle with yourself. Notice the resistance without judgment. Notice the part of you that wants to hold on, that feels safer in the familiar pain than in the unknown territory of release. That part is trying to protect you. It believes that if you let go, you will be vulnerable again. You will be hurt again. Thank that part for its concern. Reassure it that you are not letting go of your boundaries or your discernment. You are not becoming naive. You are simply refusing to let the past dictate the present. You are choosing to live from this moment, not from the wound. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. You may always remember what happened. The memory may always be there, but the charge around it changes. The memory becomes neutral, like a fact in a history book rather than a live wire that shocks you every time you touch it. You can remember without reliving. You can acknowledge what happened without being defined by it. This is the gift of true forgiveness. The past becomes past. It no longer invades the present. It no longer steals your future. There is something else that happens when you forgive, something profound and often unexpected. You begin to see the humanity in the person who hurt you, not to excuse them, not to minimize what they did, but to recognize that they too are wounded. They too are doing the best they can with the consciousness they have. Hurt people hurt people. This is not a justification. It is simply the truth. When you can see this, when you can recognize that their actions came from their own pain, their own unconsciousness, their own unhealed wounds, something softens in you. Compassion arises, not for what they did, but for the suffering that led them to do it. And in that compassion, you find your own freedom. You are no longer in opposition. You are no longer locked in a battle. You are simply a soul recognizing another soul, both of us stumbling through this human experience, both of us trying to find our way home to love. This does not mean you have to have a relationship with them. Forgiveness does not require reconciliation. You can forgive from a distance. You can forgive and still maintain your boundaries. You can forgive and still choose not to allow that person access to your life. Forgiveness is an internal act. It is about your freedom, not about restoring a relationship. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for them is to release them with love and continue on your path without them. You can wish them well, you can hope they heal, and you can do so from a place of safety and self-respect. Your forgiveness work does not only affect you, it ripples outward in ways you cannot always see. When you heal, you change the energy you bring into every interaction. Your children feel it, your partner feels it, your friends feel it. You become a different presence in the world, less defended, more open, more available for connection. And this invites others into their own healing. You become a permission slip, a living example that it is possible to be hurt and to heal, to be wronged and to choose peace, to carry pain and to set it down. This is the ripple effect of forgiveness. It moves through your lineage. It touches your ancestors who could not forgive, offering them healing across time. It touches your descendants, breaking the cycle, giving them a different inheritance, one of freedom rather than bondage. The collective consciousness is also affected. Every act of personal forgiveness contributes to the healing of the whole. We are not separate. We are interconnected, part of a vast web of consciousness. When you choose love over hate, peace over war, release over resentment, you add that frequency to the field. You make it easier for the next person to choose the same. You become part of the solution, part of the healing, part of the shift toward a more compassionate world. Your personal work is never only personal. It is always also universal. Every time you forgive, you are changing the world. So what would it feel like to be free, to wake up in the morning without the weight on your chest, to move through your day without the background hum of resentment, to look in the mirror and see someone who has chosen themselves, who has reclaimed their power, who has decided that peace is more valuable than being right? This is available to you, not someday, not when circumstances are perfect, not when the other person finally apologizes. Now, in this moment, you can choose it. You can decide that you have carried this long enough, that you are tired of the heaviness, that you are ready for something different. You do not need permission from anyone. You do not need to wait for the perfect time. You simply need to be willing. Forgiveness returns you to your natural state. We are born as love. We come into this world open, trusting, ready to receive and give affection. And then we are hurt, we are disappointed, we are betrayed, and we close. We build walls, we develop defenses, we learn to protect ourselves, and these protections serve us for a time. They keep us safe when we are vulnerable. But there comes a point when the walls that once protected us begin to imprison us, when the defenses that kept danger out also keep love out. Forgiveness is the process of taking down the walls brick by brick, of recognizing that you are no longer the helpless child who was hurt. You are a powerful adult with choices. You can protect yourself with boundaries rather than with resentment. You can discern who is safe without assuming everyone is dangerous. You can open your heart again because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes. This is the wholeness you are returning to, not a wholeness that is untouched by pain, but a wholeness that has been through pain and emerged intact, stronger even, more compassionate, more wise. The Japanese art of kintsugi repairs broken pottery with gold, making the cracks part of the beauty, part of the value. You are like that pottery. You have been broken, and now, through the practice of forgiveness, through the choice to heal, you are mending yourself with gold. Your cracks are becoming your beauty. Your wounds are becoming your wisdom. You are not damaged. You are transformed. As you step into this freedom, you will find that you have more space for what you truly want. Space for joy, space for love, space for abundance, space for creativity, space for rest. The energy that was bound up in unforgiveness is now available for manifestation, for bringing your dreams into reality, for experiencing the fullness of life. You are no longer a divided house, part of you in the past and part of you in the present. You are whole. You are here. You are available for all the good that the universe wants to give you. And the universe has so much good for you, more than you can imagine, but you must be open to receive it. And you cannot receive with hands that are clenched around old pain. So take a moment, right now. Place both hands on your heart. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Feel the beating of your heart, this miraculous organ that has kept you alive through everything, and say out loud or in the quiet of your own mind, I forgive, I release, I am free, I choose love, I choose peace, I choose myself. Feel the words move through your body. Notice what shifts. Even the smallest softening is significant. Even the tiniest opening is enough. You are on your way. You are healing. You are returning to yourself. This is the truth that will set you free. What you forgive stops hurting you. The moment you release your grip on the pain releases its grip on you. You do not have to wait for the other person to change, to apologize, to understand, to suffer as you have suffered. You can choose freedom right now. You can lay down the burden. You can step into the lightness that is your birthright. You can reclaim the energy, the joy, the possibility that has been waiting for you on the other side of forgiveness. This is your choice. This is your power. This is your path home. And you are so worthy of that homecoming. You are so deserving of peace. You are so ready to be free.